Hello, this is Jenny Fern, and today I'd like to share with y'all a little bit of a garden vlog. This is from Thursday the 25th. I took some time off of work and I was able to do some gardening. So here I'm checking in on those pots that I made a video about a while ago. The lentils are coming up and they look nice. There are some of the brassica seeds coming up and they are getting eaten. So we will see. We've just gotten a very hot and dry period. So I have some concerns, especially, so this is behind the fence, checking in this area as well. And I have left these without watering them at all. And I would like to not have to water them at all because that was the plan. So I might check in on them tomorrow and see how that's going. These are some plants growing up through the dirt that was piled up on top of them during the fencing. This is behind the fence, and these are probably wild plum, maybe some apricot. I spotted this little apricot. This was one that I had planted myself. Here in the front yard, I was observing the difference in the color of the fava beans and the peas and the lentils compared to some of the brassicas and other seeds that I had planted there. So I was noticing that the other seedlings look very pallid and sad, and I think I would want to inject some nitrogen into this area, especially considering that the other seedlings were doing so well. What is it? A tree collet? No. It's a perennial green is going to flower now, which is kind of interesting. Here's my fava bean plant. It is making huge fava beans right now. This, I believe, is my lemon tree, my daikon radish that I'm allowing to go to seed. I already harvested, I think, 2, and so I'm letting this one go to seed. And now I'm harvesting some arugula. By now, the arugula has really shot up and gone to flower, so the arugula is pretty much done now, which is pretty interesting. These flowers, I forget, I think they're sorrel. I think they're a sorrel. They have been coming out in full force recently. They're basically a weed in the garden. And here I'm harvesting some mustard greens. Again, one of my favorite vegetables in the garden and a consistent, good producing plant. So I'm very happy with that, with this plant. So, my computer died. The battery died, so I'm hopping in the middle of things. But anyway, so I think in the last video, I was talking about this harvest bag and how I've been making some things out of the yarn that I had from my parents' house, this old yarn. And I want to use it up. Well, this weekend, I actually finished up another bag, which is fully single crochet. It's very sturdy. It's almost like a bowl. It's very cool. But anyway, I have been working on a website as well for all of the things that I'm interested in. And so I was playing around with adding these bags onto the website. So anyway, there was a snail with another snail. Whenever I find snails like that, I just put them somewhere else because I mean, they deserve to live, I guess. I don't know. They don't really do that much, I feel like. So I just move them. It was on my celery, so. So, one of the things that I noticed earlier in this video was that the plants in the front that are growing out of the clay soil that was dug up when the front fence went in, The soil is very clayey. Like, I feel like you can make a pot with it, and is very light colored. It has some rocks in it. It's not beautiful. So I have been trying to build it up. Also, most likely there are quite a lot of wood chips buried underneath it, which is very bad for nitrogen depletion of the soil. So all around, not great. So my whole plan is to add some organic matter in the form of these grass clippings, I guess you could call them, although I was shredding them by hand. So I'm sprinkling these around in the front, and I have also done some other stuff to this front. I don't know if I'd put this in a video, but before I left for a little weekend trip, I also watered this area lightly with some compost tea. It's not really truly compost tea, but it was some grass and some compost in a bucket with some rainwater. So the Dave's Fetid Swamp Water version of compost tea, anaerobic, which does smell bad. And I really don't know if I need to invest in getting some sort of pump so that I can aerate my compost teas, if that would really help out compared to doing the anaerobic version. If you have advice on that point, please let me know, because I feel like most of what I see for anaerobic is David the Good with the Dave's Fetid Swamp Water. Oh, here I had put in some of the apricot trimmings, which I thought were all dead, into this bed for bean trellises, and that one has started to grow, which is kind of funny. I'm pretty sure this is a cherry that has germinated, which I'm very excited about. I really, really want some diversity with peaches, apricots, cherries, and plums, which I've planted all of those things, but the most I have is the wild plum and the apricot, because those are the trees that I have growing in my yard. So hoping that's cherry. I also decided to plant out some potatoes. As you can see, these are growing like crazy. The lighter colored ones are the ones left over from the springtime harvest of potatoes. The darker wrinkly ones are just store-bought potatoes that got old. So those are going in. I've planted in a lot of different spots in the garden potatoes. I also planted some in the front yard, I'm pretty sure. And recently, because I'm trying to figure out where to put the seedling trees that I have, I've been thinking about root crops and or tubers and trees, because it seems like a lot of people are concerned about disturbing the roots of their fruit trees when having like root or tuberous crops planted below them. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know that much about trees, really. I'm quite, I lack knowledge about trees. And so I'm trying to learn, as I am now growing some, what is important. So I've planted a lot of potatoes everywhere, and I want to do sweet potatoes this year for the first time. And I'm just going to buy some from the grocery store and try to plant my own slips, make my own slips and plant them out. And I'm thinking of where to put them that I will be super confident that I want to be able to dig that entire area up. So yes, I'm thinking if anybody has advice from like a permaculture perspective of what to do with those types of crops, the annual tuber crops or even perennial tuber crops, how you deal with those. Like, I guess Jerusalem artichoke would be another example. Do you just kind of have to isolate them and you have your own little niche spot for them? Or what do you do? So that is all I have for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, thanks for watching.